Alright, so in this video we're checking out the FiFine M9 wireless microphone system. And here's what it looks like. It's a box, and then some features: active noise cancellation, range up to 100 feet, and 5 to 6 hours of battery use. So inside the box, you got this case where everything is inside. We'll pull everything out here, and then you get the user's guide. So I'm going to pull everything out real quick, show everything, and then I'm going to connect up the mic to probably a smartphone here, record the rest of the audio through that, so you get to hear what this sounds like. But first, let's open up the case. So inside the case, we have another case. This is the charging case. We'll look at that here shortly. You get a couple of windscreens for each of the transmitters. You get a USB-C to USB-A cable. This is for charging the charging case. You get these cables here for connecting to basically the receiver to your camera or phone. So we got a few different ones here. This is a TRS to TRS cable, and there's a little label here that says this is for your standard cameras, like your DSLRs. Like I have a Sony a7S III here. It's going to be for those type of cameras. Got another one here. This is a TRS to a TRRS cable. So the TRS is this one here with the extra poles, and there's a little label here that says this is for your phone. So on this phone here, this is a Motorola, has a audio jack. That's going to be for that. These are typically TRRS. And the last cable here is a TRS to USB-C. So this obviously goes to the receiver, and this side goes to your phone. So there's a nice little phone label here, so it's very clear what everything is for. Here's a look at the case itself. Got your FiFine branding there, and some information here on the bottom. Not a whole lot. You got some rubber feet here so it doesn't slide around on the table. It's a pretty nice build. USB-C port there for charging. You have your LED lights here in the front for your battery indicator there. And you open it up. It's a magnetic case, so you close it, it powers everything down. Open it up, things turn on, and these are just held in magnetically. Typical. Here are the two transmitters. So you have an A and a B transmitter, and then this is your receiver. And once you pull it out of the case, everything powers on. You should have a white light here for the power for the receiver, and then the transmitter should be blue. As you can see, both of these are blue. These little wind muffs go on top here. You just kind of stick them on, and I think you twist. So put them on, and then you twist them, and then they should stay on. But looking around the transmitters itself, you got a power button here on this side, nothing on the front. You got your USB-C port on the bottom, and these are the pins for the charging case, but you can also charge them individually through the USB-C. You got a pairing button here and a noise reduction button here. So I think when you press this noise reduction button, it should light up when your noise reduction mode is on. And on the receiver, it has a clip again, just like the transmitters do. But this clip here is, I think it's a certain size. It's the same size, but this is meant for going on top of your cameras. So here on typical, this is an a7S III. There's a cold shoe. This is actually a hot shoe, but this will work on a cold shoe. You just slide this in here like so. It just fits in there nicely. And then you can see your display here on the front. And then the cable goes from here, so audio out, and then you plug it into your camera on the side over here. But again, looking around, you get your clip, you get your power button here to turn on and off. A and B here refers to the volume level. So you can see here we're at the maximum volume. These are these lights right here. So if we press A, if you say, for example, A is too loud, you can change the volume here. So it's a little hard to see. There we go. So it's on level 1. So it was on level 3. It will cycle back to level 1 when you press the button. Press the button again, it goes level 2. And you got level 3 there like that. The little link there that's lit up means it's connected, because obviously these are both powered up and connected. And then obviously the receiver is powered up, it's lit up. And then this MS refers to mono or stereo. And so right now it's in stereo mode. When it's lit up, it's in stereo. When it's dark, it's in mono mode. So I'm going to show you the manual. I'm going to start talking about this over the actual microphone, so you can hear what the audio sounds like versus my standard camera microphone. So we're going to go and turn this on, and we're going to plug it into my phone. So we're going to use, in this case, I could use either one. I have tried the USB-C and the 3.5mm jack, and they both work. So most phones these days don't have a 3.5mm jack. And so you're probably going to use this 3.5mm to USB-C cable, but I'm going to use the other one. So this is the TRS to TRRS, and then so the TRRS is going to go here into your phone, like so. You just plug that in, and then I'm going to bring up a recorder app. So I'm going to just record the audio here on this phone. And then we're going to plug in the other side. This is the TRS side into the audio out on the receiver, like so. So the setup should look like this. You got your cable from the receiver going into your phone, and then this is the transmitter. So obviously this is going to go off camera so I can get it closer to me so you can hear the audio. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording. So you can see there's a waveform here on the app, and then if I tap here on the microphone, you can see that it's actually recording through this transmitter now. Alright, so I'm going to leave it recording here on the side, and we'll take a look at the manual so you can hear what I sound like on one of the transmitters. The other one's recording as well, but this is kind of off camera here, so this is, when you're kind of far away like this is probably not picking up much. So you're going to be mainly hearing the one that's off camera. So anyway, here's the user's guide. So it's a pretty good user's guide. It has nice little pictures for everything, and as I mentioned, things like the pairing button, noise cancellation button, etc. Points out all the little parts, and everything is fairly straightforward. It includes all of the pictures of what's included, the cables I've mentioned earlier in the video, and then also what your indicator lights mean in terms of battery level and whether things are paired up or not. So obviously you want that blue light to be solid, so you're paired up. If it's not, there is a pairing procedure over here. Yeah, so you can long press that pairing button on the transmitter and the receiver. You have to long press it for 3 seconds, and then you'll get that pairing connection, the blue light on the transmitter and then the white light over on the receiver. This little shows you how to turn on the devices on and off. Just hold the power button for 3 seconds, pretty straightforward. And to show you where you should put the microphone, I do have the microphone right about there on my shirt, so just be aware. In terms of the audio level, that's what you're hearing now is straight from the recording. It's not being modified in any way. And again, it does show you here the different ways you can connect the receiver to your device. So for example, via cell phone, so you have, again, either USB-C or the TRS cable. And then the TRS cable is going to be for your standard DSLR cameras. And I mentioned this earlier in the video, but they have these nice pictures here that makes it pretty straightforward as to what you should do and how you should connect everything. So it's not terribly difficult to figure out. Here are the specifications. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to read over this carefully, but basically pretty standard here. Frequency response 20 to 20 kilohertz. Sampling rate is 48 kilohertz. And here are the battery capacities for each of the devices, for the receiver, the charging case, etc., and also the operating time. All right, so here is what it sounds like with the noise reduction turned on. Obviously, I'm in a quiet room, so it probably isn't going to have much of an effect, but you can hear what it sounds like now versus what it sounded like before. Before, it was just the standard setup, no noise reduction, just straight out of the microphone. And this is with the noise reduction turned on. I'm going to test it again outside, so we're going to take this outside now. We'll do a little bit of range test, probably not too far, but I'll try and find maybe a little bit of a noisy environment, maybe some cars going by, and we'll hear what it sounds like in an outside environment with the standard audio, and then with the audio with the noise reduction turned on. All right, outside, I'm doing a test with the microphone on my shirt right here with noise reduction turned off. Just going to walk a little further away, and we'll see how much of the signal gets blocked, because my body is kind of in the way here. not going to go too far. It's like 100 feet. I'm probably, I'm 100 feet right now, easily. And I'm not sure if I still have a signal or not, so I'm going to move a little bit closer. And I'm going to turn noise reduction on now. There's a little bit of noise coming over here. There's a train, right here, a train whistle. Train over here to my left. I'll turn noise reduction off. Not sure if you can hear that. There's some trees rustling in the wind here, leaves. Noise reduction is back on now. Now I hear a jet coming. So I'll turn noise reduction off. I probably hear the jet there. I definitely hear the jet. Turn noise reduction on now. And that should reduce the sound of that. I'm going to move the mic. I'm going to move it to my hat over here. I'm going to walk away again. Noise reduction is still on. Over here, noise reduction is on. Alright, so with the microphone on my hat here, should be a little bit different sound than versus on my shirt. This is another way I like to have the microphone on my body is on the hat here. It's a little bit easier. And noise reduction is still on. Walking around, you probably hear my flip-flops making noise. I'm going to turn noise reduction off again. Just checking. Yeah, noise reduction is off again. And moving back towards the camera. You can probably hear my flip-flops going. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this video on the FiFine M9 wireless microphone. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below. There'll be a link in the description if you guys want to check it out if you like the audio quality. And again, all of the audio that you've heard is straight directly out of the camera, no modifications. And there'll be a link in the description if you want to check it out. Talk to you guys later.